There's a good chance that earlier in the playoffs, the Bucks wouldn't have won Game 5 of the NBA Finals. They weren't playing well in close games, and you got the feeling they needed to be up by double digits because if the game was close, they would lose. And in large part, that was because the Greek Freak can't shoot free throws. Now, he's gotten better. It's still a problem, but in Game 5, Drew Holiday saved the day, and now Milwaukee leads 3-2. We've seen it before. You get teams that get more confident the longer a series goes on, the deeper you get into the postseason. And Milwaukee, they were usually a team that was not going to get this far, never got this far before. But those mistakes that plagued them in postseason past seem to disappear. That's a big win they had in Phoenix. And now you come home. You haven't lost at home. It's been a couple of months since you last lost there. You can close it out. You're one game away from winning an NBA championship. There are a lot of things that surround a championship run, and you have to have contributions. It can't be just one guy. Because I go back, Jerry West, when he was named the most valuable player, when the Lakers lost to the Celtics, Jerry was unbelievable. He was averaging 40 points a game. He did everything he could possibly do, but it wasn't enough. Because you're facing a Celtic team that had contributions, had a good bench. Yes, they did have Hall of Famers. Milwaukee having a bench that will contribute will be a large reason why, if they do win this, because Phoenix hasn't been able to rely on its bench that much. And if you say Devin Booker is going to give you back-to-back 40-point games and you lose, then you have to start looking at everybody else. I mean, Chris Paul had a nice game. Bad foul at the end on the Greek Freak, but he had if you said he's going to have that game in Game 6, you'd probably sign up for it. Only had one turnover. Can you get 40 out of Booker again? Where's Ayton? Where's the rest of the bench? Jay Crowder always starts out really strong and then disappears. Bridges, who's coming off the bench to help you? That's really, really important. You got Drew Holiday, who played a great game. You go 27-13. Had the big defensive steal against Devin Booker at the end. Chris Middleton has been wonderful. But you've also got contributions from role players there. And that's so important. If you go down through history and watch, some of these performances with great teams, they always had somebody who came in and like Gerald Henderson with the Celtics. Not a name, but he would contribute. Mario Elie, remember him? Sharpshooter. You just have guys who in that moment, Andre Iguodala wasn't anywhere near one of the great players on Golden State, but he was so good at what he was asked to do, and he won the MVP. You need to have contributions. I don't care what sport it is, team sport. There's always somebody doing something. We talked about Malcolm Butler last week on maybe the greatest defensive play in sports history. Nobody knew Malcolm Butler, but you won't forget Malcolm Butler because of the play against Seattle. If you would have said, hey, the game is going to come down to a play made by Malcolm Butler, you might go, who's he play for? He plays for the Patriots. You have to have those moments. You have to have those players. David Tyree. Nobody knew David Tyree. That's the last catch he ever had in the NFL. And then you have Plexico Burress scoring the touchdown. If I would have said, hey, Plexico Burress going to score the game-winning touchdown, you're going to go, oh, okay, so the Giants are going to upset the Patriots. Yeah, but the biggest play will be turned in by David Tyree. You need these individuals who have that moment. Mark Lemke was the second baseman for the Braves, and I think he batted .454 in the World Series. You're just going, wait, who is this? But that's what you had. You had these moments where somebody goes, hey, nobody's expecting me to do anything. I can step up. Pat Connaughton with Milwaukee. Just you give us 10 or 14 points. That's what you need. And it'll come down to that coming up on Tuesday night in Game 6. Can Milwaukee do the same? What does Phoenix do differently? And can somebody, contribute the game of their life? And that's probably what it's going to take. Yeah, Plunk.
And it kind of feels like Drew Holiday's in that Hall of Good. Remember, we always talked about the Hall of Good. He's been a very good player for a long time. He's Philly, New Orleans, Milwaukee. He's made one All-Star team. He had a couple 20-point seasons, averaged 20 points. But He's never been a household name. Even his name, how do you spell it? How do you say it? His nickname, by the way, is the Druth. I never knew that. The Druth.
That's a great nickname.
I had no idea.
Great nickname. The
Probably
Druth?
But he has 27-13 and a steal that will, if they win it, as you said, if they win it, that steal will be remembered forever in Milwaukee.
You can't handle the truth.
Can't handle the truth.
No,
man.
you can't. No, you can't.